So hi YouTube. So this is part of my herbal series that I was telling you about. So the first in the series is herbal tinctures. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do Echinacea tincture. Echinacea is, as most people probably know, is wonderful for the immune system. So it's something that you can take during a cold, when you start to feel it come on, and though it's not going to help you get rid of the cold, it actually boosts your immune system. So it helps you naturally take care of the cold, your own body. So that's what's really important about it. Now, talk to your doctor. This is not a substitute for medical advice. This is just how to add herbals into your life and how to supplement. So what's nice about Echinacea is it's a very safe herb. So you can take a lot of it and it's okay. So you really do want to, when you feel that cold coming on, you get that little sniffle, you actually do want to take a good tablespoon of the herb. So a teaspoon to a tablespoon a couple times a day. So that's what's good about Echinacea, is it will really help that immune system and it will boost it. But here's how we would do a tincture. So a tincture just means that in this case we're using alcohol. You can use glycerin, a vegetable glycerin, if you're worried about the alcohol content. But in my case I'm going to use alcohol, and I have just 100 proof vodka. So I have made Echinacea tincture with Jack Daniels, and though it's okay, kind of tastes like a grassy Jack Daniels. So it's a little bit interesting, and it's a little bit overwhelming. So the vodka is a little bit more plain, and it will allow you to kind of add the extra flavor in there, so it'll be easier for you to take. And the 100 proof is really good for taking care of the roots, and in this I'm actually going to be using a Echinacea augustifolia root, as well as Echinacea pupoa, which is the leaf. So it's two different types of Echinacea. They both work really well. The Echinacea augustifolia, though, is a little bit stronger, and it has shown clinically to have a little bit more power. So because that, though, the root, it needs a little stronger alcohol in order to bring it out. So I do use the 100 proof. So it does take about 4 to 6 weeks to make a tincture. So I'm not going to be making the tincture for you today. But what I'm going to show you is you'll take a jar, kind of like this. The other thing, guys, you can take pickle jars. Pickle jars are awesome. You just need to clean them. Clean them really well. You can stick them in the dishwasher. Just make sure you put it on, you know, the heavy heat one, or boil the lids. But a pickle jar works really great. But I love these canning jars. I have lots of them. I reuse them. So what you would do is you would take your herb and you'll actually fill the jar. And what's nice about these canning jars is they actually have measurements on the side. So that's really, really helpful. So you fill it about halfway full. Now this is a really big jar. I tend to make tinctures in this big batch. And when I do valerian, when I show you about valerian, you're going to see it's a very big batch. But that's also because I give them away as gifts, and people come to me all year round, and I give them tinctures. But for you, you might want to get the smaller size and start with that. So you want to fill it with your dried herb halfway. If it's fresh, you actually want to fill it almost all the way to the top. But if you have a dried herb, halfway, and then you take your alcohol, and then you'll fill that the rest of the way. Now, note that it's going to float, and you want to give it a good shake. And the next couple of days, shake it. And as the herb absorbs some of the alcohol, just top it off with the alcohol to make sure there's always a little bit of alcohol on top of the herb. That's important. And then you can just leave it. I leave it in a nice, dark place. Just let it sit. Make sure, though, that for the first couple of weeks, you leave it somewhere where you're going to remember it, because you need to shake it every day. And that's kind of what we call the magic. So this is one of my Echinacea. I got another one there. But so this is one that I had, and I just shake it every single day. And that's part of the magic. You want to put your intention into this. You're making medicine for your loved ones, and you want to make sure that you're putting all your love into it. So you want to give it a shake, and so leave it somewhere where you're going to remember, even in the bathroom, but anywhere that you are going to remember to shake it for those first couple weeks. And then after that, you can just let it sit and have a good time. The big one I want you to remember is this, the label. This is key. You need to make sure that you label your tinctures, because I've had a couple of things that I thought, oh, it would be no problem. I'm going to remember that jar. That's a unique jar, and that's something special. And I'm going to remember what I put in that jar. No, I don't remember. I forgot. And now I have mystery tincture, which, unlike mystery meat in your refrigerator, is not quite as fun. Because you just wasted all that herb and you're not quite sure what it does. And though there are some things that you can smell and you can completely tell what it is, like valerian. If I were to smell valerian, I'd know right away what kind of tincture it was. But echinacea and skullcap and periwinkle and all those, they kind of have a similar smell, alcohol-y smell once they're going. And it's really hard to tell which one you put in there. So, and they all look alike once they get in there as well. They all kind of macerate in together, and so it's really, really difficult. So make sure you label, guys, and label with the date that you started the tincture, so that you know, has it been 4 weeks? Has it been 6 weeks? It's no big deal to leave your tincture longer than that amount of time, though. But it is a good idea to bottle your tinctures, because eventually the cellulose in the plant material does break down. It won't hurt it, but it can get a little goopy in the bottom. So keep that in mind. So the next step that we do in doing a tincture is we actually have to strain out all of the material. So what we do for that, we have here, yay. Okay, so I have a little strainer. It's a little handheld strainer. And cheesecloth that I fold. I cut a big piece out of it. Ah, fun with cheesecloth. Oh my. And then I fold it up so that it fits nice and neatly into the strainer. And then I have a little Pyrex jar. The reason why I do this is because it has a pouring spout. That's going to come in handy later when you want to fill all the bottles. So keep that in mind. And then I just fit that right into it. So from here, what I can do, let me show you. So this is another one of my tinctures. I had too much, so I had double. So what I'm going to do, you want to give it a good shake. Make sure you're getting all that stuff up. Open it up. On these canning jars, sometimes can need a little pop. So you pop your lid off of, and just know you're going to it's going to smell very alcohol-y. So you can have a glass of wine or something like that while you're doing this. But spilling, you really don't want to waste a single drop. So if you tend to lose a little bit of motor control when you're drinking, you might want to keep it a little bit to the after party for the tinctures, because you do need a steady hand in order to pour this. So I'm just going to pour it out. And so we pour it into, and you can see I'm kind of getting all the stuff here, all the good stuff. You pour it all out, like that. Okay. So here we are, let me show you. So you can see here, it's all draining down into the Pyrex at the bottom. And then, because you really want all of your herbal goodness, you take your cheesecloth and you fold it up and you make a little pouch with it. And here's where you get to have a little fun. You just wring that out. Now, guys, just keep in mind, please, if you have a cut on your hand, this is going to burn. It's going to hurt. I've done this, so be careful. If you have any cuts on your hand, make sure you wrap some waterproof bandages around it or something. And you just want to squeeze it till you absolutely can't squeeze it anymore. And you want to squeeze all of that herbal goodness, because the medicine is really trapped inside the herb still. It's in the alcohol, but it's all soaked up into the herbs. So you want to really squeeze that out. There we go. You're going to get it all out there. And this is great for your biceps. I mean, it's a good workout. Okay, so then once you're done, from there, okay, And you can take your kind of echinacea, I'll show you here. Looks sort of like goop. But you can take this and you can compost it or you can throw it away. So that's up to you. Okay, so now we have our yummy echinacea tea. So from this, what you're going to do is you are going to now bottle it. So what I really love is these little bottles. You can get them from specialtybottle.com or you can get them from mountainroseherbs.com. I get a lot of my herbs from Mountain Rose Herbs, so it's really a wonderful organic, natural site that's amazing. So these little bottles, they're great. The reason why I like these ones is because they come with a little black screw-on lid. Corks are amazing, but when you're talking about a tincture that's liquid and alcohol-based, it's going to dry out because the cork is porous. So there's a chance that it can leak, but primarily, slowly, it's going to leach part of your tincture away as the time goes on. So sad, we don't want to do that. So we want to use, you want to try and use the covers, the actual screw-on lids, and that'll save your tincture. So I have a little funnel here. I highly recommend this, guys. You can do it without it, absolutely, if you have a really steady hand, but I've just learned that it's a lot easier over time to be able to have a funnel. So from there, what you're going to do, you're going to stick your funnel in. So it just sort of looks like that. And from here, you're going to pour. Let me see if I can get this close enough to the screen. So you're just going to pour it out. And you want to just keep checking to make sure. There. Dip it off a little bit. Now you have a full bottle. So then you put a lid on it. The other thing that you do after that is you put a label on it. So one of the things I like are Post-its have these new labels. As you can see, they are these little label pad things. And they actually are sticky all the way around. And they come in fun colors and patterns and stuff. And you can write right on them with a Sharpie or any other pen. They work just like a Post-it, but they create a great label. And it's removable later if you want to reuse the bottle. So guys, what's great about these labels is you can put them on. And you just position them to where that you want them. And you just kind of roll them over. They're nice and sticky and they go on well. And then they have a little tab. That's what helps you pull them off of the pack. And then you just pull that little tab piece off like that. And then you have a gorgeous little label. So, so see, afterwards you have all of your tinctures and they come in great little bottles and you tell them what, how to use it on the bottle and there's all the Echinacea tincture. So that would be how to make tinctures, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Blessed be.